All right, so welcome. We've got a short agenda. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll start off with roll call and introductions.
Yeah, I'll jump into roll call. So Andrew Klein.
I'm here.
Let's see, Sue Kaufman. I believe I saw you.
Here.
Sue, are you here? Welcome. Mark Sniffen.
Present.
Hello, Mark. Sean Carlstrom. No, Sean. Corey Thomas. I think I saw Corey on.
I'm here, yes.
Hello. Todd Byruther.
Here.
I saw your mic earlier, and then you changed it.
Yes.
Robert Graper. Not here. Chris Seaman. What
I
about
think he'll be
Mr.
a little
Spalding?
bit late. He's always a little bit late.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on, see if he shows up. Al Spalding, you here?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. And Michael Barth,
I'm here.
welcome as well. All right, Chair, we do have a quorum.
Perfect. Anyone else want to introduce yourself and who you're representing or with?
Good morning, everyone. Terry Beals representing Sound Transit.
Thank you, Terry.
What was it? Was it the annual inspection you were doing?
Oh, I think someone's off mute.
And
Yeah, Dylan. Oh, there's, okay, we're good now. All right, anyone else want to introduce yourself? Otherwise, we'll move on.
I would like
Alright.
to, if it's okay, I'd like to introduce Serena Grimes. She is our new AA3. Stoyan was probably going to introduce her, but I'm stealing the thunder a little bit. I can't express how excited we are to have Serena on board. She's our permanent AA3. She's already jumped in and helped out. You guys might have noticed the invite that came out was from her. So she's going to be assisting. You'll see her if you guys are part of other tags. You'll see her in other tags as well, just giving us a hand, helping run the meeting. So she's shadowing today, and will likely take over the running portion, so then I can assist everybody on the tag with a little more depth going forward. So I'd like to welcome Serena and welcome to the team.
You stole my speech, so now you're buying coffee the next time.
I figured as soon
guys.
as I wrote it.
Thank you for the introduction, John and Stoyan.
Yes.
I didn't say anything. He didn't let me.
There we go.
Welcome, Serena. Thank you. Anything you want to say?
No, I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to jump in. It seems like I've listened to a few meetings and it seems like you guys are definitely very knowledgeable, and I'm excited to learn from you all.
All right, thank you. All right, you want to put the agenda back up?
Yes. Oh, I guess.
Approve that. Anyone have any comments on the agenda? Any changes or additions?
Can you guys see my screen?
No, oh, wait.
I can see it.
Yes.
All right, perfect. It's
Okay, yeah, I
Andrew?
can see that. Okay,
Andrew?
perfect. Yep,
I might ask either part of the agenda or after to bring you and Stoyan, John, and Serena up to speed on that current amendment, that current proposal. Doesn't have to be part of this agenda, but it might be good as long as we're all together to quickly review that, whether we want to continue in group one with that.
yeah, why don't we, we can add that between 4 and 5.
Or 6 if no one else wants to be part of that.
Well, yeah, let's make it between 4 and 5 before we officially adjourn. That way, if people want to be involved, they can. Otherwise,
Thank you.
they don't. Is that okay that it be done in public? I guess
Yep.
it doesn't
Great to
need
have it
to
out there.
be.
Thank
but quorum. Okay, perfect. Any other changes to the agenda? All right, Todd, you want to do the honors? Make a motion.
Okay, I move to approve this agenda with the amendment of item 4.5 we just discussed.
is
Oh,
Al.
this is Sue. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sue.
Oh, this is Sue. I'll second that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sue, and almost thank you, Al. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, Jeanette, you are off mute if you're not intending to be. All right, motion passes. So next up are the meeting minutes from last week. Take a look there. If you notice anything incorrect, let us know.
This is Todd. I move to approve.
Thank you, Todd. Is there?
Mike Barth, I was present last week, just looks like it's in the absent.
Okay.
Yeah,
We can get you added in.
I will.
Anyone else notice anything before we get a second on the motion? Okay, Todd, I assume your motion is fine with the addition of Mike's name.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
This Al, I'll second.
Thank you, Al. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. So next up is the review of chapters.
Yes. So I'll set this over here with the most updated version of this report. And then let's see, the ones I got, I think the only one I got this week, excuse me, was from Chris, chapters 15 and 24. So if you like, we can jump into those.
Yeah, let's start with those.
All right, 15 and
John, I am ready with 23, although I didn't send you anything.
see how it is. I see how it is. Okay, that works. So 23, perfect. Okay. Well, if you guys can see the screen, you can, Chris, did you want to jump in and?
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Nothing jumped out. I didn't, every little grammatical change or spelling change or nomenclature change I didn't throw in there, but just kind of the bigger things. But nothing really jumped out at me as too impactful. Because of the changes to the firewall section where you can actually have holes in them now, with agreements between properties back in chapter 7, they changed what to do at the parapet at a party wall. So that's that 1503. It clarifies that you're not supposed to mess up the fire rating of the parapet itself, and that you need to cover up the separation and provide positive drainage off of the parapet itself so that you don't have water issues. It makes sense. I think that's what everybody does already. So I don't think it's really a new added cost. It's just a clarification, in my opinion. For 1505-313, there is now a default coefficient for figuring out if your tile roof is going to blow off. I think previously it just referenced test data. So now there's a default for you to use if you don't have anything better. 15049, I'm not very familiar with aggregate roofs. I don't know that I've ever seen one around here. Does anybody see them ever?
Would an aggregate roof be just ballast with stones, or is it something different?
Yeah, I think it's like gravel on top of a roof. But I don't think people really put it in around here.
Is it on the east side a little bit? I thought at Central Washington University, there's a couple of roofs that are aggregate.
Okay, maybe so. I think it's probably just too wet where I live to make it make sense. So there's a requirement now that a parapet has to go up around the aggregate roof to kind of keep the aggregate from blowing around or blowing off the roof. So it would increase the cost of construction. I don't know by how much. I would expect we don't need an amendment because it's probably makes sense. It had requirements based on your wind design for wherever your building is, and that changed how high that little parapet had to be. And it just went higher with the higher wind speeds. So I would think that we probably don't need amendment, but there's a little cost associated with it. That was my assessment, if everybody agrees.
No, you say amendment, you mean that you would propose amending it out?
No, that's what I'm saying is I don't think that there's value
Okay.
in amending it out unless somebody thinks that, oh my goodness, this is going to make this an impossible roof to build kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Just wanted to yeah, makes perfect.
For concrete and clay tile roofs, currently the requirement is you must have solid sheathing underneath it, period. There is now an allowance for spaced just structure beneath it. So not sheathing if you're in seismic design areas A through C. I think the east side has some C, if I'm correct, right? We're all D over here. So it's a reduced requirement. I don't know if some structural folks think that that's a totally wacky idea. It did get passed nationally. So, but otherwise that was I don't know anything about the structure underneath the clay or tile roof or to hold it on. So I couldn't tell you if that made sense or not, but it passed nationally.
But this is a new exception.
It's a new
Correct.
exception, so it's reducing the cost.
I know, that's when I sent you that email, like, holy moly, when did I talk to her last?
Please remember to stay on mute if you're not muting to talk. Andrew did send some information in the chat about aggregate roofing.
That might be helpful. Because I've really never seen one or done one.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah. Cost data is in there, so $350 to $600 per cubic yard for aggregate.
Okay. Owner probably doesn't want it blown off the roof either. In 1509, they added a nice list / table for the ASTM standards that coatings are supposed to be listed to. It didn't seem like anything new. It just seemed like they made it easier to understand. And in 1511, 2.2, it moved sections, but it was kind of nice. It's in the rooftop structures, those that are allowed and don't count as a story and can be built out of lesser materials sometimes. But the clarification is that you can have a elevator penthouse. It's not, that would not constitute a story to have something that accesses the elevator. I don't think we interpret it that way typically, but clarifying that is probably helpful to designers out there. But that was really all I saw in chapter 15.
Thank you too for the comments too. Those are, you guys are putting really good comments in there. Those help a ton.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't remember anything, so if I don't write it down, it's gone.
Exactly.
Chapter 24, there was even less really monumental going on. There's 2403 is the how to determine if a piece of glazing is rigidly attached or is firmly supported. There is now two different the calculation goes up to a 13'6" size piece of glass and then more than a 13'6" size piece of glass. So it looks like I don't think there's an increased requirement or decreased requirement. I think it's just different science on how to look at glazing and more specific to the size of glass you're looking at. And then 2405.2, it's right next to that section we have that talks about slope glazing that we talked about last time and the screening requirement being exempted for some. It clarifies that laminated glass and plastic materials being used like a skylight don't require that screening, and it doesn't matter how high up it is. So I think that's just, again, a clarification. If anything, it's useful for designers and builders. But that was it. That's all I found.
Thank you. Chris, any questions or comments? No. So I guess, we can make a single motion for both of these sections.
Andrew, this is Todd. Sorry.
Yep.
Did you want to cover chapter 23 on the fly, or I forgot the protocol and didn't send anything in, but they're very short.
Yeah, well, I see no reason not to vote to move these forward, then we can bring 23 in.
Fair enough. Yep.
Okay. So, Chris, you want to make the motion?
Sure. The process, are we sending these notes to the BFP, or are we just saying that we didn't see anything monumental?
Well, these notes will move forward to the BFP, which
Perfect.
would tell them we didn't see anything monumental, that we're not recommending amending anything out.
Okay, cool. So I would, to make sure we're sending them the whole story, John, if you're driving, if you could put a no in the 2 amendment needed columns there to finish them out. I think that's how we're kind of feeling, that none of this was,
Like right in here.
yeah, that, and right below too. And then that'll be complete. Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll move to forward chapters 15 and 24 onto the BFP.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Second,
Thank you.
Mike.
I'm not sure who made that. Oh, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? And motion passes. So, all right, Todd, did you want to do 23 now?
Sure.
I'm gonna let you share the screen.
No, I don't have anything. I was hoping, John, you had to. Or if we don't want to do it this way, I can properly put it in that format and just send it to you if you don't want to do it right now.
Is it 23 for the existing amendments or?
Yeah, existing amendments. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the spreadsheet, so we'll try to fill it up.
Okay. So if we can scroll down, please, then. Thank you. Right there. Okay, so 2303.1.4, we strike the Washington Amendment because it's amended in 2021 properly. And then the comment is this was needed in 2018 because it was referencing the ANSI standard that was a section of the ANSI standard that was adopted after the 2018 IBC. So that's all cleaned up now in the 2021. It references the proper standard.
So it's cleaned up now.
Well, it references proper standard in the 2021.
Oh, okay.
So the amendment's not needed.
If I misspell something, let me know, I guess. All right.
So that's a no on the Washington Amendment. We strike it.
So, okay, so you said strike it?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. 2303.6, keep the amendment. Small clerical note on my online version of the Washington Code. I have the end of the sentence in red that's just part of the normal. It doesn't really matter, but it's just a clerical piece. It wasn't a Washington amendment and it's in red on my version. Not a big deal though. It's all proper. It's all correct.
Okay.
So that one is again is yes, keep the amendment. And just for everyone's reference, it just says Staples allowable bending moments shall be listed on the construction documents. I don't know if that's needed or not, but I assume someone had intent, so that's the only addition. Okay, and then the last section is 2304.10.8, is that right?
Yeah, 2304.1 and then, yeah.
Yep, so it was moved in the word for word in the 2021 to section 2304.10.1. So it's a subsection now, so they renumbered. So technically we're striking it because it's captured in a different section in 2021. Is that right?
Are you talking about 2304.1?
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, so Washington 2018 2304.10.8. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I skipped over. I didn't see 2304.1, so I don't know what that reference is. I didn't see anything changed, any amendment in my code. Well, it's 2304.1 is what's listed on the table.
Yeah, I think it's linking to the wrong thing.
So,
Oh, it's
but
just a-
2304.10.8 is a thing.
Yeah.
We'll double check 2304.1 and we'll clean it up.
Okay, and so if you want to reference the section there in the comments, John?
In 2304.1.
Yeah, in the 2021 code, it moved to 2304.10.1. No, I'm sorry. I'm back down on 20. I'm on the next one. We still haven't, we don't know why 2304.1 is in there.
So you said it moved to 2304 or 2404? Did I mistype that?
2304.10.1. And it's the same language.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right, thank you, Todd. We'll let John catch up,
There we go.
straighten up your notes. Good. Okay, any questions or comments? Todd, you want to do the honors to move these recommendations forward?
So moved.
All right. Do you have a second?
It's Chris, I'll second.
Thank you, Chris. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? And motion passes.
So that's all the chapters I was given. What is, I guess, which ones are we still needing to?
Is it? So John, do we have like just a small spreadsheet with the sections that we have, and then 2 columns, amendment and changes, so we've got things checked off, so we can take a look at that easily to see what we've got left.
We have chapter 21 that's not done
Oh, yeah.
For amendment review.
for the existing amendments. Yes.
Okay, Tom, are you on?
I don't see him on.
Okay. Yeah, I know Tom had a couple questions that he had emailed us about, so I was hoping he'd be on.
Yeah. And one of those, we're actually still researching the standard. I think it was 31-2 that he was asking about, so we're checking into that.
Okay.
So for the building code, we have only chapter 21 left, the existing amendments.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can touch base with Tom. We can see if he's gone through that. If not, then we can assign someone else to that. what's our schedule moving forward?
Well, we didn't have too much for the structural part of the building code and the existing building code. So we are planning to finish it next week. And, staff will clean up and finish the reports. And, we can have another meeting the week after just for the TAG members to see the reports. Or if you trust staff, then we don't need to do that. We'll go directly to the standing BFP committee.
All right. I trust staff. So it's going to go to the BFP committee anyway. We can take a look. But does anyone want a meeting in 2 weeks from now?
If we can complete everything next week, it will be great.
That'd be fantastic.
So this is Mark. I have a question. I'm prepared to at least talk about the significant changes in the 2 chapters I was assigned. Is this a good time? I didn't send anything in writing, but
Yeah,
pretty minimal.
we'll go through. So, Mark, if you want to go next, are you ready now? Or did you want me to see if anyone else wants? Okay, floor is yours.
So I had 2 sections. I was dealing with the chapter 25 on the gypsum board, and there was really only. So this is significant changes, not the movement on the amendments, correct?
Yeah. So, John, do you have a separate spreadsheet for significant changes?
Let's see, I don't think.
I don't think so. We
No,
don't
go
have
ahead.
chapter 25, but we'll make notes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just taking. it.
Okay.
Pretty simple. There is 2 subsections added in 2510.6. So they added 2510.6.1, dry climate zones, and 2510.6.2. So those were exceptions in the 2018 code, and they deleted the exceptions and made these 2 new subsections about the climate for the water-resistant barriers in lath and plaster. I believe that they just clarified it and gave you a few more requirements. I don't think it's an additional cost. So I would say it's not a significant change. It's more just of a clarification and probably not an additional cost. So that was the only changes in that chapter. And then for the steel chapter, there were a couple of changes. One of them had to do with the solar, or sorry, I'm on the solar readiness page, but one of them had to do with the storage racks, and that's 2209. Oh, excuse me. Have my papers mixed up here. Just a second. Okay, 2209.3 was added in the 21 code section. And it was basically saying that you had to provide a certification for storage racks that are over 8 feet to the owners or authorized agents. So basically that change was an added section is telling you that you have to do certification for the rack storages. So to me, that's not a major change, and I don't see any deal of additional costs. So that was in this chapter steel. And there's one other section in the steel, it's 22 2205.2.1.2. And they added a whole paragraph about beam to column moment connections and special moment frames, and it's way out of my league. It's an engineering thing. I cannot tell you if it will add cost or not. So I have to kind of beg out of that one. And they also added a whole section in 2205.1.1, also about the response modification coefficient R. And there again, I'm just not a structural person, so that's way out of my league. So those were the two changes in the steel chapter.
Thank you, Mark.
Sure.
Yeah, if we don't have the in-house expertise to know the cost changes associated with them, maybe you can pull up the original model code change amendments, and there might be information there, depending on how complete those were when they were submitted. Anyone else have any reports on significant changes that they've gone through?
Can I bring up the solar readiness question that was there on the last meeting? Did we find out where that went and what happened to it? And
Yes, we researched it, yes, and this is for the existing building code, so I was planning to talk about it when we get to the existing building code, but I can make the statement now. We don't need this appendix because there is a conflict with section C of 411. C411 is in the energy code, energy commercial code. This is the staff recommendation. We have the same appendix in the residential code, and there is no conflict related to the residential code, but there is a direct conflict with the energy code commercial.
All right, well, thanks for looking into that. All right, so pull up what the existing building code now.
So for chapter 22, the recommendation is to accept it without any amendments to it. Is it a correct statement?
Is that for
Mark?
Mark? Yeah.
Yeah, that was my understanding. Correct, Mark? You didn't want to suggest any amendments for the state.
no, I was just trying to understand it.
Sorry, I was trying to decipher that. You broke up. Did Stoyan John, did you get the answer?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't hear. Yeah,
Okay.
I get the answer. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, sometimes it like works itself out in your mind, and I gave it a second, but it yeah, you broke up, Mark, so I can get it. So, all right, on to the existing.
So do we need a motion for any of that from before that Mark put forth, or is that okay?
I don't think we need a motion unless you or Stoyan want one, but are you okay with that?
Well, to make it official, we better have the motion.
Okay.
Okay. Mark, you want to do the honors?
Well, yeah, I would make the motion, but I would exclude the comment on the sections that I can't comment on. So 2205.2.1.2 and 2205.1.1 I can't comment on. So I would make a motion to accept my other comments, but not that one. So does that make sense?
Okay, makes sense. Do we have a second?
I would second that.
Thank you, Al. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I,
And is anyone opposed? Motion passes.
And then I guess for clarification, so Stoyan, then we just need to check on those just to double check those sections.
Or if we have an engineer, structural engineer that wants to take over, we can check the ICC rulemaking documents. So we will do the administrative work, but you know, if there is a structural engineer with more knowledge on the technical provision itself, we will appreciate any help.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Anybody with the knowledge that can take a look at those?
This is Todd. I'm happy to take a look, but I'm kind of misunderstanding what these are additions to the 2021 code, right? That were not in the 2018. We're just trying to identify substantial additions.
Yes, they appear as just text added to existing sections, but I haven't evaluated, so I don't know if some old text was replaced or this is everything is new.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to take a look.
When you open 2021, you will see the sidelines. So I see it as a new text, but I'm not sure. I don't know the rationale behind it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussions on the IBC before we move over to IEBC? Okay, I guess we're on IEBC now. John, where did we leave off? What have you got left? If anything,
Let's see.
yeah, I think we went through all the amendments.
Double check. I think we did.
Appendix N was questionable, and there was another section, but I can't. John, there was a section that.
and been our discussion on chapter 14 for moved buildings. And
yes.
I will prepare something, and I'm not prepared for it today, but hopefully by next week then, or the next meeting, I can shed some light on that.
Okay, on chapter 14.
1402.
Okay, thank you. And then solar readiness, Stoyan, you said that we decided that is in conflict with the
Yes,
energy code.
after coordinating with Krista and other folks from the energy tag, the recommendation was to delete, repeal it, because there is a direct conflict with the energy provisions in the commercial energy code.
Okay. All right, anyway, any other discussions on existing amendments? All right, so we've got left the significant changes then.
I see a couple of weird notes there, Andrew. The not in fire code notes.
Oh, I think these are Stoyan's notes, right?
Yes, it was. I worked on it at the time when we were discussing different amendments in one code, not showing up in the other code. So I put these notes just in case, but I'm not the knowledgeable person that can evaluate that.
Okay, they're under plumbing, which is what I see as weird, I think.
Well, if there is a not in the fire code, somebody made the comment and I
Oh.
took it from somebody and I can't remember. I can double check though, but
Okay, it just seemed odd. That's all. I just saw it.
now when I see it and when you said it, yes, it's odd. So I'll go back to it. And it's not related to what the TAG will vote on. So I'll
No,
double check.
no, it just makes you, everything you notice makes you go dig deeper. So we
Yeah.
can save time later.
Thanks, Chris. Anyone else noticed anything on the existing amendments that warrants further discussion? Okay. So did we have significant changes for IEBC or was there nothing significant that changed?
I owe you chapters 1 through 3. I'll have them ready for the next meeting.
Okay. Anyone else have any significant changes that they've completed already for the IEBC? All righty. Okay. We'll meet same time, same day next week. Stoyan, John, anything left to say?
I want to ask if we have names who is working on particular chapters, and if we understand that you volunteer your time, and if you're busy and cannot complete your chapters, let us know by Monday next week. So in this case, we'll have 2 days to work on these chapters and have everything ready by Wednesday, because if we don't have it ready, then we need another meeting, and it's this is the easy stuff, so we want to finish it as soon as we can.
John, did you get the significant changes documents sent out to us? I'm not sure I got that, unless I missed it.
You mean all the chapters? Yeah, I believe I sent them. Well, did you ask for some? I can send them to you. If you did.
Okay, yeah, if you can resend it.
Yeah.
Okay, did everyone else get it, or is anyone else in need of the significant changes for their chapters?
This is Todd. I don't know that I've seen it, but it doesn't mean it's not in my email somewhere.
Okay, so yeah, take a look. If you don't have it and you need it, please let John know.
Hey, Andrew, if you'd like.
Oh yeah, let's, yep.
No, just back before we close out 4. I reviewed chapter 22, and as a structural engineer, I don't have any problem with the significant changes for the pre-qualification requirements, if that was the question. So we could make a motion on that.
Okay.
And then,
yeah,
I don't recall what other chapter, Mark, what other chapter were you looking at? Were you talking about AC 7 R factors? Was that I can't find that. Was that the plaster? Was that chapter 25?
Yeah, I was talking at the 2 changes in the that I couldn't comment on because I didn't know if it would add cost was in 22.5.2.1.2, where they added the bottom section, and 2205.1.1. And as far as the gypsum board, the only change in there was that giving adding the clarity to a dry climate and a wet climate. Was that your question?
Yeah, thank you. I'm just what motion?
So that was 2510.6. They added 0.61 and 0.62 to that section.
Yep. And so I'm looking at most of them are referencing then these standards. So Andrew, what is the question? Are we to move this forward? Whether or not there are significant cost implications of that?
Yeah,
the
that was
cost
my question.
implication and also, yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah, the cost implications and whether or not, by understanding the technical aspects of it, if you had any comment, any reason why we would want a state amendment to change it.
Okay, so cost possibly changes, no recommendation to change the new amendments.
Okay.
And so I
All
could,
right, you want to make a motion for that?
yeah, so I'll move on both chapter 22 and chapter 25 that we move the significant changes, forward, if that's the correct motion,
All right, thank you.
as is.
Mark, you want to do the honors of seconding?
I don't think I can. I'm a standby, but
Oh, that's true. You're not. Sue?
Yeah, this is Sue. I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Sue. Thanks, Mark, for setting me straight. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And is anyone opposed? And motion passes. There's a question from Andrea about what type of format to identify significant changes. John, do you mind sending out to everyone what Chris had put together, just the headings there? I think that was a great example. It showed the section number. It had a summary of the change itself, cost impact, whether we recommended a state amendment on top of that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions before we finish up number 4 and go on to 4.5, which is 5 now?
I can change it
All right.
before. Yeah.
All right, Todd, floor
Okay,
is
thank you.
yours for other business.
Thank you all. This will be real quick. John, is it too big an ask to maybe, are you able to pull up that proposal?
Oh, and folks, if you want to jump off, as Todd had said, he's just updating, if you want to give a quick summary.
Yeah,
People who are interested can jump off.
Yeah, I can pull it up. Which one are you talking about? Sorry.
it's one I proposed. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but we'll identify pretty quickly. It's called prescriptive, CLT prescriptive something.
It's one of the IBC or the IEBC?
IBC, yep. Oh, I'm sorry, not for the 2021. We're jumping back now and to 2018. 2021 proposals from group 1.
Oh.
Okay, and the reason I bring it up here, and tell me if it's not the proper place to bring it up as a TAG member, I could bring it up obviously in the council or even EFP. So, but the question at hand is whether or not we should push this one to group 2. And so it made it, there you go. See my name down there?
Yeah, I was trying to find this one here.
There we go. Yeah. So what happened here was I submitted this under chapter 6. And then as we went through the motions, we improved it and isolated it chapter 23. So chapter 6 references these provisions in 23. And it didn't occur to me until a couple of weeks ago that we basically had edited out any changes to chapter 6. So it's possible we just push this to chapter 23 if more appropriate. Does that make sense? So the reference is still chapter 6, but we didn't make any changes, propose any changes in chapter 6. So
I guess I missed something, so I'm sorry. So this was a proposal and the changes are in chapter 23.
the justifications in chapter 6. And so combination just in my head, and originally I was going to propose making changes to chapter 6. And as we got feedback and so forth, we simplified it to justification and just made changes to chapter 23, even though the justification of why we would do this is referenced from chapter 6. So it occurred to me, maybe this doesn't belong in group 1.
Okay, I guess we can pull it out from the initial proposal, the CR.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking for recommendations. If we still want to move forward with it and that's fine too, but
I feel we've looked at it. Why not move forward with it in the group one?
okay, as long as we're not
If someone
violating
has an
things.
issue, they can,
I don't
I
think
say
we're
if someone had-
violating, but to make you keep safe, we can reintroduce it for group two too. You know, we already have it in group one. The
Okay.
council approved it. We'll post it for comment periods and we'll see what's gonna happen.
Okay, that's all. Just raising the
Exactly.
question.
Thank-
Thank you.
all righty.
So I'll bring that back up in group one.
No, it will stay
Yeah.
where it is. I mean, you, John, you already have it in your
Yeah.
document, so it's.
Yep.
just-
You know, I don't mind that it's in there because if someone really wanted to question whether it belongs in chapter 6, and now is the time to talk about it. So,
Mhm. Yeah, so we'll leave it in there and we'll have it available for public comment next cycle. Not next cycle, next group B.
okay, thank you.
All right, yeah, thank you. Any other comments, questions for the good of the order while we're on other business? All right. Stoyan, John, anything else to say, or should we adjourn?
No, I said everything again. Just let us know by Monday next week if there are chapters that you don't have time to complete, and we just need a day to work on it.
Okay. All righty, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.